There's a type of man women can never forget, not because he's rich, not because he's flashy, but because he changed everything in their mind and in their heart. Most men chase, plead, or try to convince a woman and fail. But the truth, real influence isn't about effort. It's about presence. It's about power. Today, I'll reveal the secret psychology that makes women remember a man forever, the kind of man who doesn't just exist in her life, he rewires her thinking. Silence is one of the most powerful tools a man can wield, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. Most men feel the need to explain themselves constantly, to justify their choices, to chase validation from everyone around them, especially women. But here's the truth, every word you speak carries energy. Every word can either give away your power or preserve it. When a man learns the art of silence, he steps into a different level of influence. He doesn't react impulsively to every situation. He doesn't feel the need to correct misunderstandings or defend every action. This kind of calm, collected presence is magnetic. Women notice it, even if they don't fully understand why. It signals control, strength, and emotional intelligence, qualities that are universally attractive. Imagine a woman trying to test a man's patience. She throws subtle emotional triggers, small challenges, or even indirect criticisms. The average man reacts immediately, defends, explains, argues. But the man who has mastered silence, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't over-explain. He waits. He observes. He lets the world speak to him instead of trying to shout over it. And that restraint creates curiosity. She wonders, why isn't he reacting like everyone else? What is he thinking? That curiosity is the seed of attraction and respect. Silence also creates space. It gives a woman room to project her thoughts and feelings. She begins to analyze, to reflect, to notice details about the man she wouldn't see if he were constantly talking or explaining. In essence, your silence becomes a mirror for her mind. She starts to fill the space with admiration, fascination, and even a subtle longing. But silence isn't just about not speaking. It's about intentionality. It's about saying what matters when it matters and letting the rest fade into mystery. The man who speaks less, but with precision, communicates power. Every pause, every calm look, every deliberate gesture signals that he is in control of himself and his world. And women subconsciously sense that control. Here's a crucial truth: silence isn't weakness. It's not avoidance or fear. It's strategy. A man who stays silent at the right moments is building intrigue, respect, and emotional pull. He isn't begging for attention, he's naturally drawing it. Every woman he encounters remembers the calm, unshakable presence more than any grandiose declaration or empty words. So next time you feel the urge to justify yourself, to explain why you did something, or to argue over someone's reaction, pause, take a breath, observe, hold your power. Your silence will speak louder than any words. And over time, women will notice, respect, and ultimately never forget a man who mastered the art of quiet authority. Punchline: silence isn't weakness, it's magnetic. Authority is often misunderstood. Many men think it comes from loudness, dominance, or forceful behavior. They raise their voice, try to control situations, or impose their opinions, but these actions rarely create lasting respect. True authority, the kind that sticks in a woman's mind and makes her pay attention without questioning, is subtle. It's quiet, it's confident, and it doesn't need to be announced, it's naturally felt. Subtle authority begins with self-mastery. A man who knows himself doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't react to every little challenge or test. Instead, he moves with purpose. He chooses his time, place, and words deliberately. A simple decision like showing up at the right moment, saying exactly what needs to be said, or keeping a calm demeanor under pressure signals more power than hours of argument or empty bravado. Women notice these small cues, even if they aren't consciously aware of them. Consider this: a man is at a social gathering and someone challenges him subtly. He doesn't overreact, he doesn't argue, he doesn't compete for attention. Instead, he calmly addresses what matters and then returns to his business. That brief display of control communicates competence. It shows that he isn't controlled by the opinions of others. And women are subconsciously wired to respect competence because it signals security, strength, and stability. Subtle authority also creates a psychological contrast. Most men act impulsively, over-explaining themselves, or trying to be liked by everyone. But the man with subtle authority stands apart. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation, his actions do it for him. He speaks less, moves decisively, and lets the consequences of his actions speak louder than his words. This is what makes him memorable, compelling, and magnetic. Here's an example. Imagine a man choosing the time and place for a date. He doesn't leave it up to endless debate or try to accommodate every preference. He decides confidently, but thoughtfully, signaling leadership and decisiveness. The woman senses it subconsciously. She notices a man who takes control without arrogance. Every small choice, every quiet command of circumstance communicates subtle power. Subtle authority isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. It's about showing that your mind is calm, deliberate, and strategic. Every decision you make, every action you take, reinforces that you are a man who knows what he wants and moves toward it without unnecessary noise or drama. That is far more attractive and unforgettable than any display of overbearing dominance. Ultimately, subtle authority is magnetic because it communicates confidence, reliability, and mastery. Women feel safe, intrigued, and drawn to a man who exudes this kind of power naturally. And the more consistent you are with it, the more they remember it. One of the most powerful ways to leave a lasting impression on a woman isn't by doing something flashy or by showering her with attention, it's by changing the way she sees the world. People don't remember those who simply agree with them or follow the status quo. They remember those who challenge their assumptions, make them question their perspective, and spark curiosity in a way that feels thrilling and uncomfortable at the same time. When a man learns how to challenge a woman's mind without being confrontational, he taps into an incredibly deep form of influence. This is not about arguing or being right. It's about asking the right questions, presenting subtle ideas, and guiding her to see things from a different angle. The moment she experiences a shift in thinking when her mind opens to something she hadn't considered before, she subconsciously links that transformation to the man who led her there. This is where attraction, fascination, and respect grow. Consider the small moments in conversation. Instead of responding with a simple yes or no, a man might say, "Have you ever thought about why people feel that way?" or "What if the opposite were true?" These questions aren't just idle curiosity, they are invitations to explore, to reflect, and to reconsider. By planting these mental seeds, he creates a subtle, psychological impact that lingers long after the conversation ends. Challenging her mind also requires confidence and calmness. Many men fear questioning a woman's assumptions because they think it might create tension or make her uncomfortable. But done with tact and intelligence, it signals depth, self-assurance, and uniqueness. Women notice men who make them think because it breaks the monotony of surface-level interactions they experience every day. This is how a man becomes unforgettable, not through attention, but through intellectual and emotional stimulation. Here's an example. Imagine a woman expressing frustration about a relationship or life situation. Most men rush to offer solutions or reassure her. The man who challenges her mind listens first, then poses a thoughtful question that shifts her perspective. "What if you've been seeing this from the wrong angle all along?" That simple prompt forces reflection, self-awareness, and curiosity. She remembers the man who made her think differently. She remembers the conversation. She remembers the subtle shift in how she views herself and the world around her. This principle goes beyond attraction, it taps into influence and psychology. By changing her thoughts, you influence her emotions. The mind and heart are deeply connected. A woman may not consciously realize it, but when her mindset shifts, her feelings towards you naturally shift as well. That's the power of challenging her mind. Punchline: change her mind and you change her feelings. This is the type of psychological mastery that creates lasting impact, fascination, and unforgettable presence, the kind that women carry with them long after the moment has passed.